Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be decluttering my kitchen. We have a fairly small kitchen with not a whole lot of storage space. So personally I think it's already pretty minimal compared to probably lots of people, but I know that there's some stuff that I can declutter and it needs some reorganizing. There's some spaces that just aren't really working well, and I'm a firm believer in redoing things that aren't working, trying new ways to organize things, moving things around until you find something that really works. So that's what we're going to be doing today. And I wanted to say a huge thank you to those of you who have subscribed to my channel and have been watching my videos, sharing them, leaving comments. My channel has been growing a lot lately and I so appreciate all the love. And if you're new here, my name is Tori and I love creating videos about minimalism and decluttering and just living a simple and intentional lifestyle. And I do have a couple other kitchen organization type videos. I have a deep cleaning my kitchen video if you're into cleaning videos. I love cleaning videos. And I also have a Marie Kondo inspired kitchen organizational video that is pretty old now, but I am going to be doing some decluttering today. I've been kind of neglecting this space. I know that it needs some work, but I just didn't really have the motivation and I feel motivated to do it now, so I'm gonna get it done now. So I'll just show you guys my kitchen. It's pretty little. We just have this counter space. Eventually we're going to redo the whole kitchen and then we'll add counter space here, but this is where they would have had a fridge. Our house is like 50 years old and that's a super little space. That's our fridge. You can tell that it obviously would not fit there. Yeah, that's all we have for counter space, which isn't a lot. And then we have this pantry. I actually have a separate pantry organization video, so I won't be doing that today because that's its own project, and honestly it's fine. It could use some tidying, but it's not that bad. But yeah, this is the kitchen. I really try to keep my kitchen counters tidy. They are a little bit messy right now, but really not that bad. We don't have a dishwasher, so there's a couple dishes in there. And it's Christmas time, obviously. So yeah, I will just be going through all of these cupboards and doing some decluttering. I have a couple things in mind that I want to move around, but this is what we're starting with. Okay, so I'm going to start over here. I have two drawers that have, this has tea towels and this has dishcloths, and I'm going to put all of these in a basket instead, because then I can free up two entire drawers, and I think that this will work way better. And I painted my kitchen cabinets myself with like normal paint, and I think I only did one coat and I didn't do a very good job, so just excuse all of the scratches. Like I mentioned, we are planning on putting in a new kitchen eventually, so this was a temporary fix because the cabinets were like a gross cream color. So this is the basket with all of my tea towels and then all of our dishcloths. And I like to switch to my dish towel every few days just because I feel like that is cleaner. There's a lot of colors going on in here, which is funny because I usually don't gravitate to like super colored things. And we don't really use paper towel. The only exception I make for using paper towel is if my dog throws up. Then I will use paper towel. I have like an emergency stash of paper towel, but otherwise we do not use paper towel. We just use rags or dishcloths to clean things up. Okay, and then here is the next cupboard. This is just all our drinking glasses. I feel like there's a ton in here, but we do host people regularly enough that I feel like we need to have a pretty good amount of glasses. I do wish that all of our glasses were matching, but we just got so many gifted to us in like sets of 4. So they're not all matching, which honestly drives me crazy, but it's not important to replace them all. And then I just have a bunch of mason jars here that we use for baking ingredients and stuff. There's not usually this many in here because they're usually being used, but there's a ton right now. And then, yeah, these are just all my mugs. And then up at the top, I have like kombucha bottles that I need to take the labels off of because I like to reuse these because our city doesn't recycle glass. So I like to find other uses for these instead of throwing them in the garbage. And I've mentioned in decluttering videos before that I do like to take everything out of a cupboard when I'm decluttering. I just think that it helps you to like really see everything. So that is what I will be doing. Okay, this is our next cabinet and I'm not getting rid of anything in here because these are our dishes that we use all the time. I do have 2 different sets of dishes, but I like having 2 sets. I have a white set and then I have a blue set, and I do use both of these on a very regular basis, and I love my dishes. They're so nice. So I'm not getting rid of anything in this cabinet. And we have this awkward corner cabinet, and this has been decluttered recently, but I'm still gonna take everything out of it and just look at it. Maybe there'll be 1 or 2 things in here that I can get rid of. Okay, and then this cabinet is kind of a lot of random stuff. We have all of our glass Tupperware in here, which we won't be getting rid of any of that. And then we just have like a sugar bowl and a cream thing that we don't use often, but like if we're entertaining or something, we would use those, as well as our butter dish. Honestly, I think I can get rid of this. It's like the splash guard from my KitchenAid that I never ever use, so I'll just pull that out now. And then we have these silicone things that will keep, and then we have this that I need to go through. It's like a whole container of mason jar lids. But I'm not really expecting there to be very much in here I can get rid of, because this has been decluttered in the last few months and there's not really a ton of stuff in there anyway. Okay, so this is that cabinet, which is actually pretty much empty now. I ended up moving the sugar bowls and the butter dish and stuff over there, so this has room for something else. I'm not really sure what I will store in here because I don't really have a lot of other stuff, but there is extra space here, which is really nice. And then this cabinet is the worst in the whole kitchen. It is all my spices, which I just suck at putting back neatly. So it's really messy. This is all teas and stuff, which was organized at one point. I did a whole video organizing those and it's not organized anymore, which just tells me that this system doesn't really work. I do like to have quite a few tea options because when I have people over, I like to be able to offer them different types of tea because everyone has different preferences. But this whole cabinet needs some TLC. But I'm going to use this drawer, which I emptied out, for my teas, and I'm going to have a tea drawer. Okay, so I'm just putting my spice jars in here, and to be honest, I am not a huge fan of this shape of jar. I just find them really awkward to store and they're so wide, and I'm actually kind of saving up my Trader Joe's ones so I can eventually have a whole bunch of these and I can switch everything over into, like, I would take the labels off because I just don't really like these, but I'm not going to buy anything new because they work for now. But I figured if I space them all out like this, then at least I can see more of them, and I don't really need this whole space now that I took my tea collection out of here. So we're gonna try it this way. And then I just have this extra bin that has extra bags of spices. I do try to buy my spices in bulk now, and then I can actually just bring like an empty jar, have the jar weighed, and then I can just put the spices right in the jar, and I can eliminate plastic. But I did have a bunch of spices before I knew that I could do that, so I'm just working my way through those. And then obviously once these run out, I will do it the other way, but these are perfectly good spices that I'm not just gonna throw in the garbage. And then this is my collection of empty Trader Joe's jars. Like I said, eventually I'd like to be able to reuse a lot of these. I guess I could start doing that now, but I'm just kind of saving them up. Okay, and then I'll show you the bottom cabinets. Honestly, these are messy, but they actually don't really need that much decluttering. Yeah, you can see that there's like multiple layers of paint that have chipped off, which is kind of gross, but they're clean, I promise. And then this is like cutting boards and serving trays, and again, I honestly use most of this stuff. I will go through it, but I don't anticipate really being able to get rid of much. Excuse me, puppy. Hello. You're not supposed to have this. Did you take it out of my donation bin? We have this really big cupboard. This is all attached, and I am gonna go through this one because I think that there are a few things in here that I can get rid of, and I need to do some rearranging because my toaster oven no longer has a home, and I don't really like having it on the counter all the time. And I didn't mention this before, but when I'm decluttering, I like to just have a basket or a box or a bag or something that I can just put stuff in right away. So there you can see my Nalgene bottles and the wine glasses and everything that I've already put away that will be donated to a thrift store. And I just find it helpful to have that right there so that you're not like putting stuff aside and it's getting all like messy and cluttered while you're working. so here is another drawer that is really rough. This has a lot of like Ziploc bags and stuff. Oh good, that's an empty box. And I really try to limit how many of these I use. Like I hardly ever use them unless it's for like raw meat in the freezer. That's pretty much the only thing. And most of these, like I bought these before I was really trying to reduce my waste and reduce my plastic. So I do use beeswax wraps for most things, but I'm not going to throw these out because that would be super wasteful. So, and then same with my plastic wrap and stuff. This is all super old, but I'm going to use it up. It would be way more wasteful to throw it in the garbage without using it. So yeah, but this drawer is a disaster. So it's actually the next morning now. I tried to film this clip last night, but it just gets so dark right now and I just wasn't happy with it. So I want to show you guys the final product of my decluttered kitchen. I'm super happy with it, and like I mentioned before, my kitchen is really little, so I have to be so intentional about the space, which actually is kind of a good thing because it forces me to purge and declutter often. But yeah, let me show you the final product of my kitchen. So I'll just start by showing you guys the counter space. So I have my KitchenAid mixer out. This was in the closet just temporarily. I do love having this out, plus I don't really have a spot for it to be put away anyway, so it just sits here and I find that I use it more when it's sitting out. And then here I have my supplements. I actually still need to go through these, but I do like to have my supplements left out on the counter because that way I remember to actually take them. And then I always leave my dish rack on the counter because I don't have a dishwasher, so I'm always doing dishes. There's a couple dishes in the sink there. And then I do sometimes put my kettle away, but lately I've been using it several times a day because it's cold out. And so yeah, it's just gonna stay there. And then here I have all of the things I use every single day, like my olive oil, salt and pepper, and then I have my Trader Joe's spices that I always use, as well as some essential oils that I use often in the kitchen, like lemon essential oil. And then these aren't staying out. I just need to do something with them for Christmas. And then I just have like the utensils that I use all the time for cooking. And my cast iron pan actually does just stay here. This is where it lives. I don't put it away ever because we use it so often. But yeah, that's the counter space. I like to keep it super clean. This is actually more things than I would like on the counter, but we just don't have a lot of storage space, so a lot of this stuff has to be out on the counters. Okay, and then I'll show you inside all of these cabinets. So we'll start here. This is my drawer with Ziploc bags and my beeswax wraps. This drawer is so much better. These ones are all just ones that have been used that I've like washed out. And then this is my tea drawer, which I'm really excited about having these super nice and accessible. And then this one just has like hot pads, like this kind of stuff. And then down here, I was able to find a spot for my toaster oven and my crock pot's in there. And then this is all just bigger stuff like my juicer and my blender, which were there before. And we actually just redid our floors, which is why the bottom looks gross like that. It just needs to be repainted and finished. So ignore that. My house is always under construction. Under my sink, I just like organized my cleaning products a little bit, but those, I always use the same things, so there wasn't really anything in there to get rid of. And then over here, I have this drawer with kind of like random kitchen things like cheese knife, pizza slicer, peelers, there's like elastic bands back there. And then this is just my regular utensils, which I obviously didn't get rid of any of these, but I just cleaned this all out and it looks so much nicer. And then here I actually got rid of more stuff from this cabinet than I thought I was going to. We hate this cabinet. It needs to be like a full corner cabinet that opens with like a Lazy Susan because there's so much wasted space back there. You can't really see it. But yeah, that looks so much better. And then here is just all of my pots that I use all the time. Okay, and then up here is my spices. This looks so much better. I'm hoping that this will stay much more organized now that the tea is in a separate spot. And then this one is also much more organized. We used a whole bunch of these yesterday for leftovers and stuff. And then these all need to have the labels taken off. I'll do that one day, it's a big job. Here I just have like my seasonal cookie cutters and stuff like that that I still like to keep. And then this cabinet is exactly the same. These are all the dishes we use every single day. And then this is the last cupboard, and this is kind of like my KitchenAid accessories. I have some extra reusable straws. an Nalgene bottle. This guy was in my donation bin and then my husband convinced me to keep it. So we'll keep this just for like hiking and stuff because my metal one is pretty heavy. But yeah, that cupboard is pretty much the same still. And then down here is still my dog's food. He always messes this up. We need to get like an actual mat here for him because we have brand new flooring and I don't want to wreck it with my dog's water bowl. But yeah, that just sits right there. And then over here on this wall we have our fridge. So up here I showed you guys the basket of our dish rags and towels and stuff. So we're gonna try those up there, see how we like that. And then this whole area is basically exactly the same. I still have not touched my laundry, but that zucchini just needs to be used up. It doesn't fit in my basket of veggies. This corner is basically the same. This works really well for me. It gives me lots of extra storage for jarred items. So yeah, that'll stay like that for now. And then this cabinet is pretty much the same. I moved stuff around a little bit, like the wine glasses I moved down here. I got rid of a few wine glasses. I got rid of like 1 or 2 mugs, and then these are all my empty jars. But yeah, we use all of this stuff on a regular basis.